Hello, welcome to Retro Cores Based in China, and today we're going to revisit video games. Oh yes, this is the generic Sony portable looking game console that's been around for quite some time. It goes under many different names, but basically it's just a generic clone that gets rebadged. Now, since it's been a while since we took a look at one of these, I wanted to see if they've actually been improved, since the original versions were not all that hot. Well, these are now going for about $30 to $35. I've got a link in the video description down below if you're interested in checking them out. But before you do, let's take a look at the new incarnation of these machines. Now, inside the box you get the typical selection of items. We've got the instruction manual right there, which goes under the name of handheld game console. Oh well. We have a USB micro cable. Now we can use this USB micro cable to charge the machine and send data to the machine. You can load up ROMs onto the machine or use a micro SD card. We have a TV out cable, so we'll take a look at the TV out quality later on. And we also get a pair of cheap headphones or earphones or earbuds, whatever you want to call them. Alright, now let's take a look at the actual machine, and here it is. Now, as you can see, the design hasn't changed one little bit, and for the price you pay, it is cheap, and it does feel like, well, it is plastic. I was going to say it feels like plastic, but it is plastic. But yes, it's reasonable construction for what you get. The D-pad are separate buttons, it's not a real D-pad, but you do get these little analog or digital nubs that look like analog nubs, which basically just mimic the controls up here. So this one is not a left stick, it's basically the buttons remapped to a direction thing. Typical escape, select and start buttons here. And on the top we've got the volume controls. We've got the micro USB charging socket, which we can also transfer data onto the machine with. Headphone and TV out socket there, and the power switch right there. On the bottom of the machine we have the micro SD card slot, and as you can see, this one is the 8GB version, so it does actually have 8GB of internal storage. Looks like it's got stereo speakers, but it doesn't. It only has one speaker, which is over here. That's just a fake speaker grill. And this back plate does absolutely nothing, it's just for show. And up here we do have a camera, so we'll be taking a look at the quality of that later on. Okay, so let's boot up the machine. Now, it boots up fairly quickly compared to the original models, which did take quite some time to boot up. So let's take a look how quick this one works. Here we go. It says hello. And there we go. It's just updating the database because I have put a couple of extra games on here, and we're ready to go. So that was pretty quick and painless. Now, before we look at the games, let's take a look at some of the other features on this machine. But before we do that, I'm going to change the camera lens to get a closer up look. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at the quality of the camera. Now, we have two options. We've got DV, which is digital video, and we also have a standard camera, if I can get to it here. There it is. So this is what the image looks like when you take a picture with the standard camera. Yeah. Not too good, is it? But what about the video camera? Well, let's take a look at that. And by the way, I do apologize for the sound quality because I had no idea it was going to be as bad as it is when I was taking the video. Let's take a look. Okay, so here we go, taking a look at some of the video quality that this machine can take. Now, I'm purposely starting off in a room that's pretty dark, mainly because this is the cinema room. And I want to see how well this thing copes with difference in light. Going into my son's bedroom here. This is quite a bright room, and as you can see, the window over there is blowing out. The curtains look darker than they actually are. Alright, let's take a look downstairs. So we've got a lot of different light changes going along here. So I've got everything set to automatic. Moving into the kitchen, you can see that you can kind of get an idea of the capabilities of picking up color and so on. So as you can tell, the quality of the camera isn't that great, but what you expect from a device that sells for $30 to $35. Now, it also plays video and music, so let's take a look at how good it plays video. It comes with 2 video files built in. One is a trailer for Atom Boy, the movie, and the other is a Pixel, Pixel Art. I can't remember the name of the company now. The company that makes Toy Story and all that. Yeah, Pixar, that's it. And as you can see, it's playing this video fairly well. It's a 480p video, so nothing extremely high resolution, but it does look fairly decent on the screen. Talking about the screen, it's one of those screens where you look at it on certain angles and it kind of loses its color. So you've got to look at it, you know, pretty much dead on. Okay, and then we got something over here known as recorder. Now, when you plug this into a computer, it does actually give you 2 folders, an FM folder and a voice folder. But from what I can tell, this does not have an FM radio on it at all. It only has a voice recorder, and the quality sounds something like this. So as you can hear, it is now recording my voice as I'm talking, and yeah, it's not the best. Okay, so let's stop that. Okay, stop recording. Yes, please. Alright, saving the file. Okay, now what you really want to see are the games. That's what you're here for, right? You want to see how good it plays games. Well, as you can see, it's got a couple of games listed here. Let's start with some of those, with Samurai Showdown, which will be the Neo Geo version. Let's see how well it plays it. Now you may also notice that it's now at 16.9 screen ratio, and that's not good. So what we'll do is we'll press the escape button. We will go to settings, and we will change the screen size to scale. If you put original size, it's going to put it into a little square box in the middle of the screen, but if you put scale, it will fill the horizontal plane of the screen. Alright, and we'll go back to the game, return to game, and we should have the correct 4:3 aspect ratio. Good stuff. Insert a coin by pressing select, and press start. Where's punch? There we go. Maybe not the best demonstration of the machine here. So let's put a game on that's a little bit easier to play. Now, as you know, Capcom CPS games... I thought I was running slow then. Capcom CPS games do have a strange aspect ratio, so if we go to the settings and screen size, you will see that it is set to scale. The default size of a Capcom CPS game is basically larger than 4:3. Alright, let's check out something else. As you can see, it's running this fairly smoothly. It looks pretty good. Nice steady frame rate, good speed. And sound emulation seems good as well. So not bad. Especially for such a cheap little handheld. Oops. Now, besides the built-in games, it does have the ability to play other machines. Now, it comes with a load of Game Boy Advance game ROMs built into it, which is kind of unusual. considering they're not mentioned. And also comes with a load of NES games built in as well. Now to access these extra games, what you do is you go to the games section here, and if you pick inner games, it'll just list all the games that are built into the machine. If you go here, see? Well, it's mostly just the Capcom ones and the Neo Geo ones, which it's listing there. But if you go to extended games, what it will normally do is list all the games on the micro SD card or the games that have been put on the machine internally. Now here's a weird thing. All the Capcom and Neo Geo games cannot be seen when you plug this into a PC. In fact, the only directories you see are 32-bit and 8-bit directories. And these are all Game Boy Advance games, and these are all 8-bit Famicom games. These directories here are directories I put on the machine. So where the Neo Geo and the Capcom games are stored is anyone's guess. They're actually hidden files, so you can't access them. So, take a look at some Game Boy Advance stuff. It's all in Chinese, so it's going to be potluck to whatever we pick. We'll just stop here and we'll pick that one. No idea what it is. Is it going to load it? Here we go, we're loading. Oh, it's a Namco game. Don't tell me I picked Tekken. I have picked Tekken Advance. Every time I play Game Boy Advance, I end up picking Tekken, don't I? Oh well. Let's see how it handles it. See if the L&R triggers are mapped. Yes, they are. Well, that one's not. This one is. Seems to be handling that quite well, actually. So yeah, seems to be running this one fairly well also. So seems like Game Boy Advance games are not a problem. Nice to see, because quite often these types of machines are stuttery when playing Game Boy Advance ROMs. How do we get up there? Double jump maybe? Ow, bug it off. Oh, you little shits. Ah, whatever. Alright, now let's take a look at some of the games that I put on this machine. Because this machine is not advertised as playing Mega Drive, Game Boy, or Game Boy Color, or Super Famicom games, but I've put some on here anyway. Let's take a look. We'll start off with some regular old Game Boy. My favourite, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let's hope the battery holds out. Alright, press start. Yep. Michelangelo as always. Okay, we've got no crackling on the audio. That's good. Seems to be working just fine with good old Game Boy. Alright, let's give Game Boy Color a try. Seems to be handling Game Boy Color perfectly well. Okay, so as we can see, the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games work really well, and we've now got the device connected to the TV, as you can see. We've also got a power source connected to it so the battery doesn't run out, because it keeps running out of batteries. So let's take a look at the Mega Drive games and see how they run on this device. And we'll also check out the video quality of the TV out signal. Okay, here we go. So we're loading up a Mega Drive game, and that game is Darius. Oh yes, this is the Darius that is on the Mega Drive Mini. Yes, it has actually been leaked. Now this game is a brand new game and quite demanding, and has a very unique sound engine. And as you can see, it's running quite jerkily, and the sound engine is not working very well. In fact, it sounds really bad. Let me just turn up the amplifier. Alright, that is not good. Okay, so what we'll do is we will try an original Mega Drive game. A game that would have been around when Mega Drive was popular. Let's see. Oh, my favourite, Battlemania. Let's give that a try. Now this is the beta version of Battlemania. And this doesn't usually emulate very well. You usually get some glitches. Let's see how it handles it. Yeah, it's glitching out. This is pretty difficult to emulate, this beta version. Now I don't know if you're picking this up on the camera, but the image is quite snowy here and up near the top of the screen. In fact, it seems to be rolling up the screen. Okay, it's a little bit juddery. I'm not going to lie to you, it's not perfect. Now some of you may be wondering what it actually looks like when you play it on the actual machine, you know, without the TV out. Well, to be honest, it looks exactly the same. It handles exactly the same. Okay, uneven speed emulation there, you can hear the difference. That's actually running way too fast. And so is that. That was unique, wasn't it? Oh, and now it's slowing down. Alright, let's just take a look at the lag test. You ready? Okay, you can see the button. I'm going to press the button now. Yeah, it's a tiny bit of lag there, but not much. Oh. Yeah, Super Nintendo and Mega Drive emulation is not great. But then again, this game machine is not advertised as being Mega Drive and Super Nintendo compatible. Now I did also try PC Engine, Master System and Game Gear games on this, and none of those would work. So I guess we can consider Mega Drive and Super Famicom or Super Nintendo to be a nice little Easter egg maybe. Okay, let's check out some more Neo Geo stuff running via the TV. See how it looks. Yeah, it's okay, I guess. I mean, what you expect for the money? Seems to be a bit slow, mind you. Let's check out one more Neo Geo title. Yeah, Neo Geo emulation isn't that good by the looks of it. Speed isn't there, is it? It seems to be very uneven. Sometimes it runs a bit fast, sometimes a bit slow. In this case, very slow. Okay, let's give a few more Capcom CPS games a try, running via the TV. Okay, good old Final Fight here, running on CPS 1. Seems to be fine. Now you can see that the game's running in a small box, so Let's see if we go to settings and change that to full screen, see what happens. Actually, put the scale. Hopefully that'll fill the screen up then. I return to game. No, it actually stretches it. And it's still in a box. Weird. Let's change it to full screen, see what happens then. There we go. Okay, Pro Gear. Another Capcom CPS game. Let's see how this one works. It's not perfect, but it's certainly playable. So there we have a look at the most recent version of the generic PlayStation portable looking game console. Now, you can't expect perfection, especially not at the price of $30 to $35 with free shipping as well. But as you can see, it does Capcom CPS emulation fairly well. Neo Geo not so good, but surprisingly Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance very well indeed. So, you know, if you're looking for something, you know, just to throw in a bag, you don't really care if it gets damaged or, you know, a little bit scuffled, whatever, then yeah, you can do a whole lot worse than this. And all the games that I showed you today are actually coming from inside the machine. None of them are on micro SD cards. So with 8GB of space, you can certainly put on quite a few games. But yeah, I mean, if you're expecting perfection, this is not for you. But if you want something cheap and cheerful, well, yeah, give it a shot. Link in the video description down below. Till next time, guys, take it easy and keep on gaming. See ya.